This will be my 15th season, and I might say some years we had some superstars, but I've never had a team that's this deep with this many really good physical players. Lily is back, our fastest kid on the team. 3 of our Brazilians from last year with being Anna outside and Amanda in the middle. So that's a strong core. We're going to lean on them. For new players, we've got 3 more coming from Brazil, from Sao Paulo and Rio and the area. A setter, Rafa. Rafa's one of our setters, and Giovanna and Casey. Both those are also good beach players. And actually, we dug deep and found some good players in Paraguay, of all places. So Michelle and Janina are here from Paraguay, and they're very good. And Monica's here from Shanghai. She actually came in January, so she's a little bit more acclimated. She's probably maybe one of the tallest Chinese girls you've ever seen. So we're excited to have her in the middle. And we also have kind of a libero back row player from Fort Myers that came up, Kylie.
As you talk about the importance of having strong character as an individual, is this something that you look for while you recruit players?
The obvious answer is yes, and definitely. The reality is as we recruit international players, yeah, we're looking for character, but it's difficult to truly determine that, especially when you're recruiting a kid out of Brazil that doesn't speak much English. So, to be honest, so one of the reasons people think I'm strange, but I also recruit players that have done very well on the beach. And the reason is beach is more of an individual sport. So if you're going to do well on the beach, you've got the internal character and the internal drive to go do it. So I find that that's kind of a proxy for some of the hard work. Not 100%, but that really helps. And then people ask me, how do you get all these people? Well, this year, what's happening this year really was when I started contacting the best players in Brazil. They all know the players I have, and they're all friends. And my existing players, oh, coach, you need to get her. She's really good. So there's a bit of a vetting there.
With you having such a diverse culture with your players itself, is that challenging for you as a coach at times to try to connect with them?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story. In the summers, I get to read and listen to a lot of podcasts these days and read a lot of books. And one of the guys I study a lot from, Anson Dorrance at UNC, he coached both men and women's soccer. And his point was that one of the differences is if you're going to make an impact with girls, they have to trust you. You have to know them. You have to have a personal relationship before there's a coaching relationship. And then I was reading Coach Patino's book, and he made the point that his team had no chemistry because came into this team, they couldn't even tell me how many brothers or sisters their teammate had. I read those 2 and I went, you know what? Some of my players, I couldn't tell you how many brothers or sisters they had. And to be personally honest, I vowed to fix that this year, to sit down with them. And I mean, that sounds like a trivial bit, but it's huge, and I make the point to our team that we have, I would argue, one of the hardest jobs in sports. Because if you look at the Division I teams, 2/3 of that team has been together for 2 or 3 years. If you look at your high school team, 2/3 of that team has been together for 3 years. We show up and say, hi, how are you? Let's play next week, because we come from all over the world and have to show up and become a team. That is our hardest job. Our hardest job is not serving and passing. Our hardest job is turning all these people from all over the world into a team. A quick illustration of the gap we need to cover. Monica, our girl from China, she's from China. She's an only child. She left home at 12 to go to a boarding school at the Shanghai Sports Institute and stayed there all the way through. Kylie, who you interviewed, is the middle of 9 kids. Never had her own room until she was 15. How do these 2 have any common reference to get along? Not to mention, they don't even speak the same language. So yeah, we talk about that all the time. That just the communication and the culture. What we find is they love learning about each other. And they start having a blast and they laugh at each other and it's good.
What do you want your players to gain from being a part of the program?
What I hope they gain is to learn what you need to do to succeed. Whether that's at volleyball, at school, being a doctor, whatever it is you choose to do, if you really get down to it, what you need to do to succeed is very similar. So if they can learn that, how to have the competitive fire to put in the effort, how to have the self-discipline to do what you need to do, and the self-belief to believe in yourself to go do it. We'll work a lot on those 3 areas. If they can learn that, that's worth the visit.